Good evening. I'm about to say good afternoon. I'm so used to saying good afternoon, but it is the evening time and it is Thursday. So, you know what we do on Thursday? We talk about autism. So, this is Mom's Little Corner. My name is Evelyn. I am the owner of Mom's Little Corner, and this segment is called Let's Talk Autism. So, tonight we're going to be talking all things autism. Tonight, ladies, I have a topic of schedules and routines for autistic children. So I just wanted to talk about the benefits of having routines and schedules for children on the spectrum and give you my experience with schedules and routines for my son that is on the spectrum. I am not a doctor. I am not a therapist. I am only a mother sharing my journey with autism. So to get started, the benefits of having routines and schedules are: one, it helps your children regulate. It gives them a sense of ownership over their day, and it also helps you keep them managed, meaning like if they have doctor's appointments, you have a schedule for yourself to know, okay, my child has a doctor appointment this day. When it comes to school, for myself, we have a routine in the morning. I showed you guys our AM schedule on our previous Zoom that we had. So I use that in the morning. That's called a visual schedule. The visual schedule is pretty much visual. You have either pictures, words that the child can see. Some schedules are where you can take apart like the pictures and move it to one side, or it may just be like a fold up schedule, or it just may be a plain sheet of paper with the words or the pictures on it. For myself, I like the Velcro. It gives him the opportunity to see what he's completed in the morning. So he'll take, let's say, brush your teeth off. He'll take that off of the side that has a picture of him brushing his teeth, and he'll move it to the done side. So now he knows that I finished brushing my teeth. Now I have to move on to the next thing on my schedule. Um, so along with our AM schedule, he has a schedule for waking up. I wake him up at the same time every morning, and I follow the routine of our AM schedule. So he knows what comes next. And then after that, I explain what we're doing. So when it's time to go to the bus, I let him know, Daniel, we're going to the bus. And now that we have that communication device, I can use the communication device to show him, and he hears it saying time for the bus. And so now he knows that when I say it's time for the bus, or when I show him on his communication device that it's time for the bus, we're going outside, we're getting in the car, and we're going to his bus stop. Um, so that's a part of our routine in the morning. And then with the routines, it helps them with cooperation. It helps them. It's a power struggle sometimes. My son is very headstrong. If you know Dan, you know he's very headstrong. And sometimes what he wants is what he wants. And it doesn't matter if I'm trying to explain something to him. So when he sees his schedule, it lets him know that this is what I'm supposed to be doing at this time. So those struggles that we had before, we don't really have anymore because he kind of knows what to expect now. Um, those are some of the benefits that we have with using the visual schedule. And then routines, I talk about routines a lot. Routines are key. So I'm gonna say for myself, routines are key to autism. And this is just me saying, because when you have a routine, like I said, it lets the child know what's coming next. And that way you can kind of avoid some of the meltdowns that may happen if they don't know what's coming next. Just like adults, we kind of like to know what's going to happen next in our day to plan how we're going to do. It's the same for children on the spectrum. It gives them a sense of security. They know what's going to happen in their day. They either see it, or you're telling them it, or they have the communication device that can show them the schedule. I can also set his device to have his schedule on it that he can click through and he'll see the changes in his day. At school, he has a schedule and a routine that he follows every day. He knows he's gonna come off the bus, go to morning meeting. If he's having a rough morning transitioning from the bus, his routine is to go to the sensory room. That gives him a break from demands in his morning, and he can kind of regulate himself um, with things that are in the sensory room. So that
Yeah.
is that's the benefits for Daniel having schedules and routines. He knows what's coming next. I can show him his schedule and I can say next, and then I'll have him point to it. And he knows, okay, this is what I need to be doing next. So now with the communication device, is making things a little bit easier because when I'm ready for him to take his bath, I'll let him know, Daniel, it's time for bath, and he'll go to the screens and do his little he'll go to the correct picture to get him to the bath time routine, and then he'll press it, and then he'll walk to the bathroom because now he knows when I press this means I'm going to go get in the tub. So I think if you know someone that has a child on the spectrum, I would definitely recommend, if they are not using schedules already, that you can let them know, like, I heard that schedules for children on the spectrum are really good. It helps them, know what's coming next. It may cut down on some of the anxiety or meltdowns that they have. Um, it's a really good tool to use for children on and off the spectrum. Like I said, I do have a son that's on the spectrum. I also have a younger son that's not on the spectrum, and the same visual schedule that I have for my son on the spectrum, I use for my son that's not on the spectrum. It helps him know what's coming next in his day also. And for me, those are like the key benefits that I have with using the schedule and the routine. I think it's very important, if you have the opportunity to try it. You can see you're not going to see changes overnight because it didn't happen for me overnight with using schedules and routines. I mean, like with the routines, some nights we follow the routine to the T, some nights there's a variation in our routine. So it kind of throws us off, but we try again the next day. So if you're using a routine, don't like get upset with your child or yourself if one night the routine is off. Some things are going to happen and it may throw the routine off. You may be out. If you're out, you can't follow your normal routine. So you kind of have to be flexible, especially when you're first starting to use visual schedules and starting to make a routine. You need to see what's going to be best for your child, because I can say, oh, I do this at this time with my son. I do this at this time with my son. And you may say, okay, well, if I try to do that with my son, he's going to have a meltdown or she'll have a meltdown. So you have to kind of play around with different routines and schedules to see what's going to be the best fit for your son or daughter that's on the spectrum. And that's pretty much my topic for tonight. If you have any questions about schedules or routines or anything concerning autism, I am open for conversation. You need me to unmute you?
Hi, this is Shirley Evans. I wanted to ask the question about Daniel, since he have his device.
Okay.
It sounds like, is he coming along with it good and learning to use it?
Yes, he's coming along really well with it. So right now we're in the beginning stages of him learning how to use the device. So when I had a meeting with his teacher, she was pretty much saying, right now is the time that he can just play, let him just explore the device. And she let me know, like, you also explore the device with him, because is a learning curve for both of us. And when we were talking, she said something that made so much sense to me that I never even thought of. She was saying how when children are learning to talk, they babble. So, like baby talk. And she was saying to me that what Daniel was doing with his device, no, he may not be asking for something that he necessarily needs or wants at the time, but he's learning how to use it, which is he's babbling right now. So just like a child learning to speak, Daniel is learning to speak with his communication device. So right now he's in a babbling stage. Now he can request things that he wants, especially preferred items. He's really good with requesting preferred items. So things like candy, Doritos, bacon, the bathtub. He loves the bathtub. He loves bacon. He loves candy. And one of the candies that he frequently requests is Skittles. So we don't really eat Skittles at home, but at school they use Skittles for a reinforcer. So Daniel's very let's say food motivated when it's something that he likes. So Daniel likes candy. So when they're trying to get Daniel to learn a new skill, they use candy or snacks. I let them know like the kind of snacks that he eats at home. So they have those snacks handy for him. And then with the candy, because I don't really give Daniel a lot of candy and the teacher doesn't want to fill him up on candy. So what she did was she bought a pill cutter and she cuts the Skittles in half with the pill cutters. And that way, when she's trying to teach him something new, and if he requests a Skittle, she'll use that pill crusher to crush the Skittle and then give him pieces of the Skittles so he's not getting as many Skittles as he would get if he was getting a whole Skittle every time he tried to, learn a new thing. So the device is really working for him. He's going to continue to learn and grow with the device, but right now he's in a babbling stage, like just like a child learning to speak. He's at that first stage of just getting familiar with the icons and where everything is at. He really likes to hear it say well done. I mean, not well done, all done. So what he'll do is he'll press the same icon over and over, and then he'll tap the toolbar at the top where the icons are, and it sounds like it's like kind of singing or making like a little rap. So he likes the way that sounds because he enjoys music. So right now that's what he's doing with the device.
Oh, well, that's good stuff. Glad to hear that. That's I'm really excited for Daniel.
Yes, I'm so excited that he finally has his device and he's, adjusting to it well.
But it sounds like I also heard some patterns going on with him. You said he's hitting one button continually. He continues, because I know you spoke a lot about children on the spectrum that they do things in patterns.
Yes, repetitive. And that's why having schedules and routines are really good because it's the same thing over and over, same time of the day. Sometimes there are variations in the time that things happen, but if we're doing things in order, normally it's the same time, or even if it's not the same time, it's still in the same order. So for him, it's good because he likes to do things in like a systematic way. Just like when he's playing with things, sometimes he may line up cards or whatever he's playing with in a certain way, and if you move it, he has to move it back. So sometimes things are very repetitive, and when children have repetitive behaviors, it's easier to teach them things that you need to teach them, because when we're learning things, we go over it repetitively. So that's kind of like a plus of being on the spectrum, because they already naturally do things over and over. So once you're continuously doing something over and over, you're going to start realizing, okay, so I'm doing this, after this comes next. So that's where like those routines and schedules come in handy for the repetitive behaviors that children already display on the spectrum.
Oh, okay. Really nice. And how is it going for you? How do you feel now that he had the device?
So I think the device is a great tool for Daniel, and I'm very happy that he has the communication device. It's definitely been something that I've been requesting for a while, and to finally have it and see that he's flourishing with it, it makes me as a parent feel good, and it makes me know that I was asking for the right thing that I knew my son needed.
Great stuff. Well, continue to do the great work that you're doing, Evelyn.
I sure will.
Evelyn, one of my parents came into the center today and she was standing up on the steps and she had this little dog. It kind of looked a little like a poodle. I'm not really sure, but I said, I said, did you just get that? Is that a puppy? Did you just get that dog? She said, this is a service dog. I thought I was gonna fall off the chair because I had never heard anybody really speak about a service dog until you spoke about it a
Okay.
couple weeks ago. So what I'm going to do is to kid talk to her a little bit. I'm going to talk to her myself tomorrow.
Okay.
I'm going to get more information about the service dog. What I did hear her say to the kid was, she was mentioning that sometimes they have dogs that the people train, but then you can get a service dog and then you can have them trained. I was like, I got to find out more about this.
Yeah.
So find out about it. That's all I know so far.
Yeah. So you definitely can go through a company that has trainers that take the dog from, I forgot how many weeks the dog starts when they start training the dog, but pretty much from a puppy, the dog is starting to be trained as a service dog. So they go out in public and they do off leash training, on leash training. So, things just obedience first. And then once you're paired with the service dog, they find out the needs that each individual has. And then they teach the dog individualized training for whoever is going to be their handler. Now, you can train your own dog to be a service dog, but there's things that you have to follow. Just like a regular service dog, you have to make sure that when they're in public, so it's tests that the service dogs have to do and they have to pass. They have to have a certain temperament to be a service dog. You can't have a dog that's going to be barking. So a lot of times you see people in the market with animals or anywhere with animals, and if they're barking at other people, dogs, or like if they're just unruly in public, 9 times out of 10, that's not a service dog, because service dogs are trained when they're on the job. They're on the job and they're focused on whoever the handler is. So you're not going to see a service dog lunging at anybody. You're not going to see a service dog barking at anybody. Now, if they're trained to bark for a medical need, then you may see a service dog bark, but it's not like they're barking unruly at other people. They may be just turning and barking at the individual person whose owner he is or she is. But when you see service dogs in public, they're normally very calm and they're attentive to whoever their handler is.
Okay. All right.
Miss Elaine, how was the dog? Was it quiet?
Yeah, she was holding the dog like I guess she felt that wasn't allowed to bring the dog in. But I mean, I really wanted to see the dog up and close and see, exactly how the dog was trained or whatever. Now that Evelyn has brought it to my attention about a service dog, I would see service dogs with people who were blind mainly. those are the times, because I don't see it's like a big collie or something. I was like, what that dog doing here? Then I look at the owner and I'm like, oh, okay. But yeah, but it was a small dog.
So I have a question for you guys. So I was on a Zoom conference and it was about service animals. Now, what do you think the number one service animal is?
A small dog?
No.
I've only seen two. I've only seen, and it was a German Shepherd or a Collie, like those kind of dogs.
Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna let both of you know that you are both wrong. The most popular service animal. Hi, how are you doing tonight? So tonight we were just talking, I'm gonna tell you guys what the most popular service animal is in 1 second. But tonight we were talking about schedules and routines, and I was just saying the importance of having routines and schedules for children on the spectrum. And this will be on YouTube later on, so you can definitely go check this video out on YouTube. Please like and subscribe on my YouTube channel. So I just asked the question of what do you think the most popular service animal is for the autism spectrum? And so we said what was it? You said like a collie. So the most popular service animal is a horse. You can have a miniature, yes, you can have a miniature horse as a service animal. Yes.
And where's this horse? And where is this horse going? Nowhere. That's for them just to go out to the stable and just,
now
ride or something.
therapeutic horses are really popular. Like they are really popular. Now, personally, I mean, I would love to have a horse, but we don't have the land for that. Maybe I would love to have a farm. So maybe if I had a farm, I would definitely have some therapeutic horses. But therapeutic horse riding, that's really popular.
Wait, I gotta take this call. This is from the daycare. Hold on.
Okay. So
I just want to know, like, most people that have a service animal have the service animal that lives with them in their home. Now, when you have a therapeutic horse, do you keep the horse at the stables? Do you keep it at the house? What happens? Like, is it just something you go to ride on and then you go home? Like, how is it providing support?
well, I guess each case is going to be different. Now, so I've been thinking about doing riding lessons for Daniel. So of course we're not about to have a miniature pony anywhere in my house because we don't have space for it. And like, yeah. Now, I do have it where if I really, really wanted to, I could have a stable for the horse, but I don't think right now that's not in our future. Now, him going to therapy using a horse, that could be in our future because they have this one place that I know of, I think it's called Pegasus. They have an autistic program where, the children come and they ride the horses, and I forgot how many weeks they do it or whatever. But so basically you can do horse therapy where you'll go to a location that provides the horse therapy, and your child will get, just like they get speech and OT, they'll have therapy riding a horse. Now,
Right.
there are some people who may have farms and their child may be autistic, so they have miniature ponies as autistic support animals. But I was really shocked because I thought that dogs were the top I thought dogs were the top support animals. And then so after horses comes dogs. Then I did not know. Now, I don't know if this is like the third, but these are some other types of service animal or therapeutic animals that you can get therapy with. So a guinea pig can be a service animal.
Yeah.
Didn't know that.
Yeah.
Now this one, I really didn't know this could be a therapeutic animal, a dolphin. When she said a dolphin, I was like, oh my gosh, are you serious? Now
Yeah. Where you
that one
gonna keep
had
going
me.
now?
I have no idea. So I'm definitely going to look into that because I'm like, I never heard about a dolphin being a service animal or therapeutic. So I'm not going to say a service animal for a dolphin because we have nowhere to keep dolphins as a service animal, but a therapeutic animal. I never heard of that. So when she said that, that took me out. So I'm definitely going to research that to find out more about that. I mean, I definitely want to have my child in that water with a dolphin, but
But you know what? I really now that I'm thinking it out, I think that it would be appropriate because I just think about how much Daniel loves the water. Like, think about how long he will stay in the tub, splash around, splash around. So to be able to have the opportunity to get in the water with the dolphin, I think that might be nice. I don't know.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
yeah, that's going to be after years and years of swimming lessons. And then we can try that one out.
Um, there's a stable, um, what's that? It
Right
was
off the parkway.
up Germantown, like up Chestnut Hill. I'm always going somewhere and riding around, looking and running at something. But they had a program like that for children with autism
Mm-hmm.
up in
Oh,
Jenkintown, up in
oh,
Germantown.
it helps with the cells and the brain waves, the clicks, those clicks that the dolphins do, those ultrasound, those
Oh,
clicks, that helps with the cells and the brain waves.
Mm.
That's
Mm,
nice. I like that. I didn't even
yeah.
think about
yeah.
So personally, I'm a big well and dolphin lover. Boss lady can tell you how I had her in a movie theater watching a movie called Blackfin.
girls, ladies. She had me in the movies. I did not know what we was going to see, and we wound up watching Wells. And I'm like, this is too much. Like, in
I
there
personally
about the
enjoy
well.
well watching. So, like I would definitely look into the dolphin therapy. I mean like I said, this would not be anytime soon because, yeah. But I would definitely look into like dolphin therapy just to see more about it because I really never knew that existed. So
Right.
but it's amazing the different therapies that are available. And just like I didn't know some of the therapies, like imagine people who are just coming to terms with their child having autism, or they just recently got the diagnosis. They don't know what therapies are available. And just like, excuse me, having a service animal, like people, like some people may look at like, oh, why you need to get a service animal for your child? But along with the benefits of services that this dog can provide for Daniel, a lot of people on the spectrum, a lot of children on the spectrum really don't have friends, and people don't look at that aspect of being on the spectrum. Like as a parent, I said how lonely it is, but as a child on the spectrum, we can't begin to imagine how they feel. In Daniel's case, he can't
Mhm.
tell me. And I'm pretty sure he may laugh and play with people, but like to have a best friend, like if you think about yourself, I'm pretty sure you have a best friend and you know how that feeling feels. And for a child on the spectrum, their service animals becomes their best friend. That service animal is a dog, period. The nickname that dogs have is man's best friend. And that term is not used lightly. And when you see children with service animals, it brings something out of them that before they had the service animal that wasn't there. It gives them a tool to now engage with people, because when people see dogs, their natural reaction is to say, oh, that's a cute dog. And now if the child is verbal, and someone comes up to them and they say, oh, that's a cute dog, now then that child can now vocalize, well, this is my service dog, or like it's a conversation starter. And for kids on the spectrum that don't really socialize, because some children are not very social, it gives them the opportunity to be social with the dog, and in turn teaches them how to be social with other people. So it's like a bridge, a communication bridge for people to understand what autism is and why dogs are being used as service animals for children on the spectrum. And then it's a tool for children on the spectrum to kind of come out of their shell a little bit and interact a little bit more with people.
That's a very good, that's very good. Yeah. Hmm. And you speak about the tub. Oh my God. I had to drag myself out the tub. And not only that, but the water, I mean, everybody in my family, I mean, we go away on vacation or go to a hotel or something. We spend the majority of our time in the pool.
Yes. It's
It's,
relaxing.
it's so relaxing. It really is.
There's so
Hmm.
much, so many benefits of water. You
Yeah.
have water aerobics, so like it gets you moving. And then
Mhm.
I think for Daniel, it's like relaxing because the water's like washing over you and stuff like that. And for him, I think he'll be like a natural swimmer. So this summer we're really going, I'm not even gonna say this summer because once it's kind of warms up a little bit more, I'm really looking into putting him in swimming classes, but I want it to be specifically for students with autism. So I definitely think that for anybody, water safety is key, but definitely for children on the spectrum, like I said, I think it was last week that drowning is the number one cause of children on the spectrum, passing away unexpectedly because they don't understand danger. And I don't know how, but it's like they gravitate towards water. And if you look up cases of children on the spectrum and drowning, it's very high. So water safety, if you know anybody that has autism, please talk to the parents about water safety. Even if it's like you don't personally know them, just kind of bring it up in any way that you feel comfortable, because water safety is number one. Like, danger for kids on the spectrum, for my son, let me just start with Daniel. So danger for Daniel, Daniel does not understand that, he doesn't understand that certain things is dangerous and it can really hurt him. Like, he doesn't understand that if he runs out in traffic, like, he can get hit by a car. He doesn't understand that if he jumps in a pool, he may drown because he does not know how to swim. Now, when he's in the bathtub, he looks like he know what he's doing. But to be in bodies of water where you cannot stand up, like Daniel went fishing, and instead of being on the shoreline and fishing with the pole, Daniel was knee deep in the water. So like, he's having fun, but he doesn't know, like, if you get swept by a current, you don't know how to swim, so you don't know how to save yourself. So water it's fun, it's beautiful, but it's also a dangerous thing if you don't know what you're doing around it. So if I had to say one thing, I would say, make sure, if you have a loved one or someone on the spectrum, make sure they are getting swimming lessons, and that they have the basic skills that if they were to fall in some water, they would be able to either float or get themselves out of that water safely. And then also, you want to know anybody of water that's around where you live at. So for myself, I try to know, like, we have little creeks. So God forbid, Daniel, because he's an eloper, if he ever eloped, those will be the first places I have people look, because I don't know how children find the water, but they find the water. So
Mhm. Mhm.
that would be like the first place you would send someone. I try to, I don't try to think of scenarios, but as a parent with the child on the spectrum, I feel like I gotta be 25 steps ahead. So like I run different scenarios in my mind all day long, especially when I'm out in public with Daniel, because um I have to know that if something happens, I know what to do. And no, I might not know exactly what can happen, but them scenarios that run in my head, that it could be a possibility. I mean, like if he that's why I try to use the different things that I have in place for him when we're out in public, because if he runs in the street, like I got to make sure I'm in shape so I could chase him down, because for Daniel, it's a game of cat and mouse. So he may think that I'm playing with him, but in all, I'm being really, really serious with him. But he doesn't really understand that because he doesn't notice the significance of danger. So it's really hard trying to teach Daniel that some things are dangerous, some things are not. Because to him, things are like games. So if he sees that I'm, like if I try to keep myself calm, because if he sees that I'm working up and I may be yelling like, no, 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 he's going to take that as a joke and going to go left with it. So I kind of got to keep myself calm and just like as calmly as possible reel him in, because he doesn't understand the significance of if he runs away from me, something bad can happen.
Well, you know what, Evelyn, you have just shined a light on something for me. Because I think I had mentioned before that I have taken several classes from the Institute for the Human. I had never even know the name of it, Human Potential, whatever. It's an institute up on Stanton Avenue. And one of the classes, we had a whole day of how to teach your child how to swim. And I'm sitting there like, what? It just seemed like it came out of the blue. It was for children, I don't know what course it was, how to maximize your child's intelligence, or it could have been the course of yep, it was how to help your brain injured child. That was the class, I got I have the whole curriculum of how to teach your baby, how to swim, or your child to swim. And I just didn't understand how it related one to the other. I was just saying, okay, you know what I mean? But now since you speak about it being so relaxing and how they love the water and everything, now it makes sense. And I'm sure, I'm like almost certain that the swim school on Old York Road probably have that class for the kids. I know that my kids went through I signed all my grandkids up. It was like 9 of them in the pool at one time. And your parents had to get in there. I was like, y'all better get in there. Because the kids they love the water. And why
Yeah.
not teach them how to swim? But they were like, look, Bam, Mom, I can swim. You were like, hey, you got your life jacket, don't take the thing off, and you cannot swim. But I'm sure that they have it. You can look it up. You can check them out up there on Old York Road. They are really, really good up there.
Okay.
And they probably would have a class because they really identify with their kind of program that if somebody come in here and say, oh, I think you should have it, they're going to make sure they include it for the children. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
In the community.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Wow, that's really something. Okay. I'm learning a lot here.
Yes, lady.
And when you speak about water, I remember that's one of the first things I learned in childcare was like, don't have any standing water around. A child could drown in the toilet, or the child, because the child head is heavy. They go in the
Yes.
bathroom, they head up and next thing bloop, bloop, bloop. You know what I mean? Or the child can drown in a bucket of water. I'm like, what? Then when I was in my daycare, how might be mopping or something. You put the mop and whatever to the side. I'm like, no, get that bucket of water out of here. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Because it can the least amount of water a child could really drown.
Yeah.
You're right.
And that's the thing, like it doesn't have to be a pool. It doesn't have to be a big
Right.
body of water. Like
Yeah.
even the bathtub, like I never leave Daniel unattended in a bathtub because yes, my thing is like, okay, he's in there playing, but like anything can happen. Like sometimes he plays too rough. Like he may bump his head. And if he goes under that water, like, so it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be a pool. It could be a
Right.
bathtub. It could be a toilet. It could be a
Right.
bucket of water. It could be the sink. So you just have to be visual with, and especially with kids on the spectrum, they are very busy. And I feel like if I can't hear Daniel, if he's too quiet, I have to see what he's doing, because my thing is like no noise means something up for me, so I need to know what's going on, and I have to keep my eyes on him at all times. Like, you know, I want him to be a kid and, you know, like have his little moments to himself, but there is not a time that I have to be constantly on him. Gotta make sure he's, you know, not in something. Like I said, he loves to flush things down the toilet. So even though, you know, I like to give him privacy because, you know, I'll sit in the hallway and he'll try to shut the door. And so my thing is like, you know, I want to give him some privacy in the bathroom, but I can't give him too much privacy because I know like he likes to flush things down the toilet. So I had to have that door cracked open so I can hear and see what's going on, because I really don't want to replace any more toilets. So I have to call a plumber out because I have 5 Hot Wheels stuck in the toilet. So we did that and I don't want to do that again. So now I know, like, yes, he likes his little privacy, but I need to make sure he's not flushing anything down the toilet because of Mr. Flush It. So you have to be visual at all times.
And you think about children, you know, like here they have the baby monitor. When a child is a baby, you don't think about the use of a baby monitor for a
Yes.
child at their age, but that would be a good thing.
Yes, a baby monitor is a you know, like it's a key, because when it may be a time where I say, okay, you need to be in your room for a minute, I still need to know what's going on. So like even cameras in the house, you know, like some people may feel like, oh, I don't want to have cameras in my house. But for me, I don't mind having cameras in my house because I know like I may not have my eyes on him all the time, but I still need to know what's going on. And just like with a baby monitor, like these are things like you said, you may think, oh, we can only use that for a baby, but no, that's a very good tool for a child on the spectrum. Even with the you know, having a watch. Now Daniel's not going to wear a watch. So I know getting a watch for him would not benefit because he's going to take that watch off and he's going to be lost the first chance he get it. But, you know, just certain things that you think about, like you would say, wow, just using that item on a child on the spectrum, like it can take a little bit of stress away from a parent. Like a baby monitor takes a little bit of stress away from a parent at night that's trying to sleep. The alarms on the door takes away stress at night when you're trying to sleep. I have to have the window alarms on. That takes away stress at night when I'm trying to sleep. I feel like will I ever get a restful night's sleep? Maybe not, but having those things in place kind of gives me a little bit of a little bit of ease. But even with those devices, it's still not, you know, 100% like, oh, he's not gonna, because he may know how to take the alarm off. Like if he's watching me, if he watched me enough, he'll learn how to take the alarms off the window. So like I have to be crafty. Like when I'm taking alarms off the window, I have to put the drape down over my hand so he don't see how I'm clicking the buttons. Like people they kind of underestimate children on the spectrum, but I feel like if you underestimate them every time, they're going to show you why you shouldn't underestimate them. They're very smart. Daniel is a very smart child. He just doesn't communicate in the way that we communicate. And, you know, for a child his age, he may not do everything that an 8-year-old does, but he's very brilliant. And my thing is like everything in his own time. Daniel is unfolding before my eyes, and he's going to continue to unfold and do different things and amaze and shock me. And every time he learns something new, I celebrate it. And, that's where we're at. And we're going to continue to push Daniel. I don't know what the future holds for Daniel, but I know it's going to be a bright future for him. So I'm going to continue to support him and push him and have him trying different things. Everything that I have him try, he may not like it, but I mean, we're going to try it anyway.
Right. I don't want to be the one to keep talking. So
It's
okay. Look, okay. Because this is something that I'm very passionate about. But as far as I don't know. My cousin Frank, he's a grown man. And he's 70 years old. And I'm his caregiver, right? Because he's disabled. And I came home. He lives next door, so he lives next door to me. So I walk out my back. We share the porch, so I go through the porch door, and I go in there, and it's this lady standing in the kitchen. Never seen this lady before a day in my life. I asked her who she was. She asked me who I was. Long story short, I had to get cameras in the house. So I have cameras in my house. I have cameras in my house next door. So every time my door opens, front door, back door, porch door, it pops. As soon as you open that door, it pop up right on the screen. Porch door open. 1533 door open. Window open. Because,
have
I'm
to
just
be
thinking about that.
visual.
I'm just thinking about that for Daniel, because what we were talking about last week, you know what I mean? It pop up on my watch, it pop up on my phone. So irregardless, I know in a second that
What's going on, because
what's
kids,
going on.
people on the spectrum, they're very innocent and they don't really know stranger danger or things like that. So you have to, be that person that's looking out for them, because people like to take advantage of people that they know they can take advantage of. And
There
when
you
they don't
go.
see people,
There you go.
when they don't see people that have their best
God,
interests
girl.
at heart, that's when people take advantage of people. And it's unfortunate, but that's the world that we live in. And I know that Daniel has multiple people in his life that are going to be there to step up for him and advocate for him. So I know for Daniel, I don't necessarily have to be there to be the one to advocate for him. And I'm grateful for that, because I have my mom, I have my sisters, and the rest of my family members, that are going to advocate for Daniel if I can't advocate for him. So that definitely gives me peace of mind, knowing that, it takes a village. It really does. It takes a village to raise a child, and it takes a village to raise a child on the spectrum.
Yes.
And, I think that having a support system is really key, and some people don't have that. And I would love to be a support for any person who finds themselves with a child on the spectrum, because I know the importance of having a support, and no, my family does not have a child of their own that's on the spectrum, but they have a grandson, they have a nephew that's on the spectrum. And having that lets them know the importance of speaking up about autism. And like I said last week, no, they don't know firsthand what it's like, but they do see I don't want to say struggle, but it is a struggle having a child on the spectrum. And when I say struggle, I'm not saying that everything about autism is negative, but when you have a child on the spectrum, like I said, it feels lonely, and you have a lot on your plate. As a parent, you already have a lot on your plate. And when you add disabilities on top of being a parent, it adds a level of stress, because you have to manage this disability. when you're trying to raise a child. So now it's like you pivot your parenting style because you have to. So if anyone, regardless of if you're on this call or you're watching this on YouTube, or you come across my page on Facebook, if you are experiencing going through diagnosis of autism and you feel like you don't have anyone to talk to, I am always available. Please reach out to me in any way. If it's YouTube at Mom's Little Corner, if it's Facebook at Mom's Little Corner, or Instagram Mom's Little Corner, I am available day or night. Message me, comment. I'm available to talk. Sometimes you may just need to cry. I'm available to listen to you cry, even if, you know, we don't know each other. I'm still available for any parent that's experiencing what I experienced. And with that, I'm going to end this Zoom call for tonight. We will be back here next Thursday at 7 p.m. I'll be here. I am also on Instagram at Mom's Little Corner. I am on Facebook at Mom's Little Corner. And I have a group, Mom's Little Corner on Facebook. And the last two things I'm going to leave you with is one, there's no hood better than motherhood. And the second thing is, if you met one person with autism, you met one person with autism. Have a great night.
Mm, mm, mm.